slug the rest of your coffee and put your boots on. It's time to go milk the cow. My sister is an AI tech. She gave Jessa, today's Friday, so on Tuesday she gave Jessa a shot of Ludolase, which speeds the maturing of an egg and triggers them to drop the egg sooner on a reliable schedule, 3 to 5 days after the Ludolase is given. And then this isn't my first choice. Like, yes, I would love to just do it without doing this, but it's also okay to expect production from your animals, and I need her to be bred on a certain schedule. We've started our spring cleanup of things that blew all over the yard, and we're using feed sacks as garbage bags. When the snow melts, it's always a special. Look at Freya.
Freya has like shoes and...
Oh dear. This morning, our water delivery guy came. This is our cistern where the water gets delivered in. And it was snowing sideways. It was so cold on my ears. It felt so much colder than it was. Good morning, my beautiful star. How is you? I know your ringworm patches. They're growing back, but ugh, makes her look ugly.
Oh, definitely.
And those ladies are waiting for us. Do you want to close that gate, Matt? Because I gotta let Star in here. Oh, wrong gate, Mac. Meant this gate. This is what we feed them in, but it doesn't need to be in here right now. Can you grab that? Hello, Star. Come on in. Star knows where to go.
So what do I sit on?
Nothing, I don't know. Marius built this milking stool this winter, and after milking on a bucket for my entire life, I cannot tell you how amazing it is to sit on a stool. It feels so good. Okay, so at nighttime, Marius separates Star. She gets locked in here. So Star has this bedding area. They have that bedding area. Come on, Jessa. In you get. So then Jessa gets to come in here for milking. Mossy is dry right now. She's due in May. So, oh, she's gonna come for a drink of water. But Star knows the routine that she goes in her little pen there, and then after milking she gets let out and she's with Jessa all day. Come on, Jessa. In you get. Come on. Oh, you're fine. Come on.
Jessa looks so much bigger than when we first got her.
She is so much bigger than when we first got her, isn't she? And she's finally figuring out to come in. And you know what? Today, Jessa gets AI'd. She gets bred today. Come on, take that last step in, girl. We usually throw a rope on her and then she'll walk right in. Okay, I got it. So Jessa has turned into be a pretty well halter trained cow for not doing any formal halter training on her.
When can we put Star's halter on?
Oh, do we have the right size halter? I think Auntie Anna did bring one.
Yeah, because we want to start halter training her.
Yeah.
We halter trained Jeffy when he was young and he was a bull. He trained really well.
So Jessa, she's 4 months post calving. We haven't nailed down her heats yet. And we want her to be bred back fairly soon because we don't want her and Mossy's calvings to start getting closer together. So we're using Ludolase. So today Anna is going to AI her artificial insemination. She has the AI tank, and I bought Sexed Semen. The bull is called Craze. I picked him because he's A2, higher than average butter fat, medium production, longer than average teat length, good mastitis resistance in his daughters. All the things that I was going for. When Anna AIs her today, she will also give her a shot of something called Fertiline, which I'm not super familiar with, but Anna has got it figured out, so we're just going with that. So Jessa, being 4 months post-calving, is roughly in the worst body condition she will be her entire lactation, in terms of it's the biggest draw on their system, roughly 100 days post-calving. So she's doing really well. She looks good. Her top line looks good. I mean, she's scruffy because it's spring and they're starting to shed, but she came through the winter in really good shape. Mossy took some effort to get in good shape, but now she is in good shape and looking nice and lush for calving, not too fat. You don't want fat jerseys either. You should roughly always only see their last 2 rib bones. It looks like you can see more with Jessa just because of how her hair is, but also up here, like if you can see these ribs, that's not good, and you can't see these ribs, and her top line looks good, nothing too fat, nothing too skinny. She's maybe a little on the skinny side, but she's also at that 100 days post-calving that is just the hardest on, the biggest draw on them. So Mossy here, again, she looks really scruffy because it's that time of year. But as you can see, her top line, nothing looks too exaggerated, nothing looks too rounded. She looks pretty good, but spring always makes them look a lot worse. You don't need to brush up there, bud.
I always.
Okay.
How we did with Mossy.
I know. It's okay. Just make sure her underneath is brushed well and the back of her udder is brushed well.
I'm just going with the flow. This is what I did. This is just now.
Jessa has come a long way in her 4 months of milking. Figured I needed to give you guys a YouTube update on Jessa because she hasn't been on YouTube for a while, and she is doing really well.
Brush.
Okay, let's wash her up.
I was gonna go brush Star.
No, okay, you can brush Star and I'll wash my Jessa.
You like the butt scratches. Practice.
So Jessa doesn't really have the best letdown. Part of that could be to do with calf sharing. But when Mossy is due, Jessa's heifer calf Star will be roughly 6 months old and could be weaned. So we're hoping and thinking we're going to wean Jessa's calf and then try graft Mossy's calf onto Jessa, and Jessa just be a nurse cow and feed Mossy's calf, and we wouldn't milk Jessa. She would just be with the calf because she doesn't produce that much milk.
Yeah.
If we didn't separate Star, Star could take care of everything Jessa produces, but we separate them at night to milk out a bit, just so we have some milk for the house and milk for toddler Rowan and baby Amos. Okay, good job. How'd you get? That's just an empty bucket. You know the drill. Gotta go get their grain now. The trough kind of sunk into the ground when everything thawed, so she's pretty much right in it right now. But she's got some beet pulp, baking soda, loose minerals, Redmond conditioner, which is a clay, and then about 5 pounds mixed oats no, is it oats barley? Or is it wheat and barley and peas, which is a local grown and ground mix. We feed Jessa and Mossy separate right now because Mossy's getting less grain and a lower protein grain because she's pregnant, and Jessa needs a whole lot more to support her and this calf and everything. So they get fed in here and I leave them in here, and Marius will come out in a bit and let them out when he takes care of chickens and such. Max strained the milk for me. And Rowan, what are you doing? Are you just watching Mac? Does Mac have the milk? There is a bunch of clean milking rags that we need to put away there. Did you date it? There you go.
No, what day is it today?
The 8th. That's a water bucket.
Water.
And that's the milk bucket.
Milk water bucket.
So now I'm gonna trade Marius for the baby. I got some stuff to do. I gotta work on the computer, maybe get this video out to you guys.
I'll be computer for you.
No, Freya, it's okay. And then what else is going on today? Freya and I are going to town, and then you won't see any of that, but what you will see next is I'm gonna show you my sister AIing the cow. So my sister is here to AI Jessa, and I'm just going to watch with my Jameson's ginger lime. I'm just gonna sit here on this stool, milking stool, and watch. So it's a nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen.
Vivaldi is actually what I already have scheduled.
Do I cut that part out of the filming? I guess it's going up a cow's hind end, which isn't exactly sterile anyways.
Never used it. That part won't actually be in there. It's covered.
Anna was just picking up new bedding for her cows too, which is why this is in the back. We have a broken up one there. So the liquid nitrogen tank keeps semen good forever if your tank is a good tank that's well maintained with liquid nitrogen. And then it goes into a thermos of water that is between 35 and 37 degrees Celsius, which is the cow's body temperature. And it sits in there for how long?
It needs to be at least 35 to 40 seconds. You want to warm up your straws to your body temperature too, because any...
Did you wash those?
These are brand new.
I know, I'm just...
No, but sometimes you get a little bit of oops done. Any temperature shock is going to reduce your fertility, so you want to make sure to have everything like really nice and warmed up.
Okay. So her hand is up the rectum, so she knows where the cervix is to help then guide the straw, woo, slippery, through the cervix. Correct?
Yeah. Sorry. So it has to go through the vaginal canal, and then the cervix is basically a small mini donut floating around inside a larger hose, and you need to find the little hole of that to enter into the cervix. You need to pass through the cervix up into the uterine body where you can then inject it. So there's a big rush to get it from the tank and into the cow, but once the gun is in the cow like this, I could stand here for 5 hours and it's fine. The semen is going to live in her body temperature for 24 hours. So we always time it so that there's leeway. As I go through, I can feel what actually feels like little crunching, and that's going through the cartilage called her cervical rings. And as you work your way through them, it's actually easier when they're in heat because they start to line up to make it easier. The reason we have to go so far up is that the bull would inject right up in the vaginal canal, and his would take 24 hours to travel up there. So that's why when you AI, you always give it an extra 12 hours after you see them in standing heat, because think about the time when the bull breeds them versus when you breed them. We're going straight to the source. So it's in right now through. I can feel the cervix, which feels basically like a lot of cartilage on top of the rod. So if you feel your rod, you can actually track through with your hand on in the rectum. You can track the entire progress of it, of where it is. And if you get too far, you'll put it up into a horn. And then if you miss the horn that's ovulating, you will have missed it for the cycle. So once it's there, go ahead and just slowly put it in. Now the semen needs to be in there for about 6 hours before she actually ovulates, because it needs to capacitate, which is where the head of the semen actually breaks down to be able to fertilize. Do you want to feel, Kate?
I'm good, thanks.
So only vets can administer hormones like this, just like antibiotics. In Canada, you have to have a valid vet-client-patient relationship for them to prescribe hormones or antibiotics. An AI tech coming to your farm isn't actually going to be able to prescribe and bring the antibiotics, but because for ease of purpose, I maintain a VCPR with our vet for both Kate's jerseys and my beef cows. I handle all of the vaccinations and antibiotics for Kate's cows.
These aren't antibiotics though.
No, this is just a hormone. So the vet prescribed this to me for this. So if you were to get AI from an AI tech, you might have to still call your vet, arrange to get the hormones, and either the vet has to do a shot, or depending on your relationship with your vet, he might just prescribe it and give it to you for you to give it, because it's 2 different shots over a span of a few days to do a synced protocol.
Most people I know who've done it, the vet will just prescribe it for them. They go pick it up and they give it, and that's what we've done in the past with a different vet.
Yeah, so like Ludulase is what is going to bring them into estrus, so they're going to be going into heat, and you can either give them the Ludulase and then watch for heat, or you can wait the set amount of days and then give something like Fertiline, which is the second hormone which triggers the follicle to release the egg.
And I won't be videoing you giving the cow a shot, because that could end up getting the video flagged. So we're not going to do that, so you won't see Anna giving the cow a shot, but that is what she is about to go do now.